Hello and a very warm welcome to Cultural Communication Confidence. And this episode is a special episode, slightly different from what we normally do because I'm recording this just before the festive season, right at the end of 2023. So I am myself about to take a bit of time off with my family here in the UK for Christmas. And many of you perhaps are also taking some holiday for different celebrations at this time of year. So although this is not a new episode, I wanted to share with you how grateful I am that you listen to this podcast. We are about 65 episodes in now, and it amazes me still that we've had over 5,000 downloads and we've had people listen all over the world. In fact, the last time I looked, we had people listening, and in fact, this podcast entered the charts in the top 10 in the careers charts for countries such as the UK, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Israel, Thailand, New Zealand, just looking at my notes here, Qatar and Cambodia. And that really amazes me that the podcast reaches you wherever you are and can be listened to so globally. And that makes me really happy because that was absolutely my vision when I set up this podcast, that it was to help as many people as possible all around the world. But it's not just the numbers. For me, what actually really matters is hearing your feedback and hearing how the different episodes and the topics that we talk about on this podcast have helped you in your work. One of the things that I've heard from people is that it's really helped them with their communication confidence. I've also heard people talk about the fact that it's helped bring really fresh cultural knowledge to them, things they didn't understand or know about working in multicultural teams. And I was really pleased to hear some feedback recently where somebody told me that actually what really they valued about this podcast, that was that every episode was quite action oriented and meant that they could take away something they could implement in their work. So that is absolutely my intention, and I'm really pleased that that particular person felt that. So, thank you. Thank you for listening and really helping this podcast to spread around the world as widely as possible. That is really important to me, to help as many people as possible. Now, I mentioned this isn't a new episode. However, I did want to share with you some of the most popular topics on the podcast in case you wanted to go back and listen to these or watch these over the festive period. So I'm going to look at my notes and mention some of the ones that were particularly popular and people found useful. So the first one was episode 56, which was all about preparing yourself for interview. Now, this was part of a mini series which went across 3 episodes where we talked about all aspects of interviewing. And so if you are somebody who is job searching right now, or looking and thinking about job searching in the new year and making 2024 your year for your new job role, then I highly recommend you go to listen to episode 56. Then there was episode 50 and episode 51, which was a 2-part series all about exploring your cultural values. This is great if you're working with people either internally or externally from different cultures, from different countries, and can really help you explore your own cultural values. So go and listen to those, episodes 50 and 51. Episode 44 was about how to manage your senior stakeholders. And I shared in this particular episode a framework to help you map your stakeholders and think about Who is it you need to influence in what way, and what communication strategies are you going to use? So if that is something of interest, please head back to episode 44. Episode 35 came up often as a very popular topic, which was all about handling conflict. Conflict is inevitable. It comes up in all aspects of everyday and work life, and there is no easy solution. However, the way we show up to the conversations, the way we show up to our interactions when conflict is present can really make that difference between the conflict staying around for a long time or alternatively being able to move through it and find the solutions. And then the final episode I want to recommend for you to go back and review and re-listen perhaps is episode 34, which was 7 top conversation starters. This was recognizing that whether it's networking or whether it's just small talk, sometimes we're not very comfortable with the idea of kicking off a conversation. So I shared in this particular episode some ideas for you to help you with that. And it's not just talking about the weather. So there we go, a few listening recommendations for you to either go back and listen again, or perhaps to discover new if you are new here listening to the podcast and have joined us only recently. Just as a reminder though, I will be back with new episodes in the new year. This is only just an end of year kind of wrap up, a gratitude message to you all. And also it is an invitation, which is I want to keep this podcast relevant, interesting, valuable to you so that I continue to receive your feedback that it's working for you. So I would love to know, what questions do you have around communication, around cultural skills, communication confidence? What topics would you love for me to cover on the podcast that I haven't covered as yet? I would absolutely love to know. So please feel free to share these ideas with me. You can reach out to me via LinkedIn. It's probably the best place to find me. My personal profile over there is Victoria Reynoldson. And you can message me your ideas, or feel free to contact me via the links in the show notes. But I would love to get your ideas so that we make this podcast as valuable to you as possible. So all it remains really for me to say is thank you so much for being with me, whether this is your very first episode that you're listening to from the podcast, or you've been with me from the beginning and you are listening to already a year's worth of podcast episodes. Your support, your listening really makes a real big difference to me. So thank you. And as does all your feedback and comments. So thank you so much. I wish you a restful and joyful festive season if you're celebrating at this time. And if you're not, I wish you a very happy end to this 2023 and a very good start and very successful start to 2024. Look forward to seeing you next year.